Hey people, I don't think anybody's liking my finale, so I'm gonna put it at the front.
Don't forget, hooty hoot, hooty hoot. I won't forget.
And of the several meanings, this means don't forget to hooty hoo. So in that last movie I talked about these pedo dipples, the little dipples, and they were used to change the writings. They weren't under the original writings, they were added later. It was this word here that this, is the pedos, the little, and the dipples. Actually reading backwards first. So dipple of pedo. And they say it was to draw attention to what was in the margins. And you'll see in these margins a lot of it was these drawings here. There's many of them. And it's always these bald-headed monks that are writing. A lot of them have two tools in their hand, and this one tells off the most. It looks like he's writing the book, but if you look, there's already writings in the book. He's adding to the writings. He's adding these little dipples and this artwork in the margin that wasn't always there. And you see the drapes are open, he's letting in the light. And there's a little bird whispering in his right ear. He's trying to write the writings. And he's listening to Dexter. And these little cubby holes are all keyhole shaped. They often have to do with rabbits. Sometimes the dog was chasing the rabbit. But on this one, the sinister-eared rabbit is carrying the dog. And this rabbit is, rabbit means fast. And now he's on a snail. He's slow. And many of these have to do with the rabbit, the zoo, the animals. You see the priest, he's a canny, a dog, in the Hebrew and in the Greek, the Khan, K-A-N, is the priest. And so as times change, the writings weren't working, and so now they have the priest hat on the cat. Now the cat is the Khan in the control. So Job was the oldest book of the Bible. Don't listen to none of these guys. They can't read the first word in the Bible. They don't have a clue what it's about. But it was the book of Job that started this astrology. But as the precession of the equinox had changed our point of Easter, our point of Rahu, and it changed the elevation of the stars, the book and the writings weren't working out. So I showed the evidence in the book of Job where it was written when this point here in Taurus, the Pleiades, was here at this point, where the Pisces is now, on the point of Rahu. And so they had to write a new book, come Genesis. That's the story of the bull, the Taurus, the big white bull going into the boat. And then came the time of Aries, the time of Moses. They had to write another book there. And then come the time of Pisces. That's when your New Testament come out. We're going off into Aquarius now. All the astrology's changing. And so in this Greek, it was written later. As the time started changing, they just started adding these tojos, T-O-J-O, tojos, to the words. A tojo is an instrumental nominalizer. And these are all these little suffixes and prefixes added to the words. And they were mainly to change the number value. And in the Greek, these were mostly single, double, and triple letters added to the front and back of words. And so as the times changed, you had to keep changing this number. The words were becoming colossus. They were huge. But in the Hebrew, somebody got this wise idea to just add these vowel points and dipples. The dipple pointing to what's in the margin. If you can't explain it with just a couple points, put an arrow there, a dipple, saying, hey, go look in the margin and read that. And thus come all this extra braille and these dipples that just weren't in their original writings and had to be added later to change values when the star of Cyrus was no longer at the 20 you had to put a dipple in there to let you know, hey, go read what's in the margin over there. So you better understand this. And so another way of reading that last movie I did on line 3, is unceasingly remembering your work of faith and labor of love and the endurance of hope. And it's the pistos to the behind what come out, the cup of that tesses, that harvest the page gap. The harvest the page a gap, the margin. Harvesting the page of gap, filling in all the margins with the missing information. You're unceasingly remembering your work. And that's what it's talking about, is all these bald-headed monks that added all the dipples to the work. And I didn't catch that till I got down to this next line. It reads ES, this, it, antidotes. Like an antidote, to anti is for, dote is to repair, to fix, dotes, the antidotes for a fix. But this, it, antidotes. And so it's playing with the word, and it's to add the dotes, the antidotes. And this, it, antidotes, Joppel. And Joppel is the word that means the son of Job. You see here Joplin, meaning the son of Job. In other places they'll say this means a stupid man, a fool, because the writings of Job weren't working out. And this it antidotes Joffled a Delphoi, a worthy feast, a foy. Now I told you this brother's Adelpho, and it reads different. It has many different spellings, and they'll just change this first and last letters, this first and last tojos, to change the meaning and the number value. But it's the Joffled, a worthy foe, foy. Sometimes it's foe, but this time it's foy, F-O-Y. A foy is a feast, a present, given by or to a person departing on a journey, a feast at the end of harvest or fishing season. So this it antidotes a son of Job, a worthy feast. And then this is Job right here, Jone. The N-E replaces the B. It's across from the B that's in the Hebrew. And this is Job, J-O-B. The job, much, page, P-A-G-E, the page gap. The job, the much page gap. Filling in the margins. Come annoy. Come annoy, all the annoying little dipples used in the margins. There were scribbles, comments, glosses, annotations, critiques, doodles, and illuminations that was added to these Bibles to better understand. And so if you read this in the ancient English as it was intended, it's poetry. This it antidotes Joffled Adelphoi. Job much page the gap come annoy. Of hypo, O-P-O-F of, and then hypo, under, a hypo. Hypodermic is under the skin. Of hypo, of under, come out. Toa, to come out. Of hypotoa. Theo watchin, the Theo and then W and then an O, W-O-T-H. Watchin. Of hypotoa Theo watchin. Nag all like loggin. Nag all like loggin. NHG, the nag all. And then the K-E replaces the L. It means of. And then L-K like loggin. Loggin to writing. The nag all like loggin. To Vav connected to Mom Namu, the mother of all gods.
Don't forget, hooty hoo, tooty hoo. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.